Now, our final item tonight. For the past 2 years, we've been increasingly relying on remote work and schooling in our daily life. And that's probably doubly so for those thinking about immigrating or making aliyah to Israel. So for those who want to study and prepare to make their segue into Israel as smooth and successfully as possible, look no further than Ulpan-Or. Joining us now are founders and CEOs of Ulpan-Or, Yoel and Orly. Thanks so much for coming back into the studio, you guys.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So, okay, how did the past two very challenging years affect you and your students at the Ulpan?
So we at Ulpan-Or specialize, as you know, in very, very unique and fast programs.
It's like an immersive Hebrew.
Right. And people used to come to have our really, really superb programs for 5 to 10 days. It is called Flavor of Israel. They used to come from all over the world, hundreds of people from organizations and from the private sector. For the last 2 years, of course.
It's been a little different.
Yes, it is a little different. So we had to reinvent things.
And we mainly moved to online programs, definitely so.
All right, so, when did you start teaching online? Or rather, how are your students different than online than they were in the physical classes? Did the makeup of the class change, or I don't know?
Many things have changed. Actually, we have been teaching. Our Hebrew mentors have been teaching a lot online using Skype those days. Some of it was on Zoom, and what we did now, we shifted our focus to these programs, and our programs are based on dialogue learning versus text learning with other programs, because our focus is on being able to speak with Israelis, right? This is the main point of learning a language. So what we did now is we just took these programs that Orly mentioned in Flavor of Israel and transformed those to online. And our students are having very similar effect online as well.
All right, so now I understand, though, that some of the lockdowns are now over. We're coming back out of things. So do you, I understand that you have a hybrid model, so to speak. How does that compare to the in-person or versus Zoom?
So our hybrid courses are actually very unique. We combined our materials with a very, very structured way of teaching. And the person who acquires them gets a feeling as if the teacher is with them in a living room, in his kitchen, wherever he wants and whenever he wants. And the program enables people to kind of converse with the teacher and have a really, really very unique way.
Actually, and we actually created a platform where students communicate with their teachers, delivering recorded assignments, getting feedback.
So speaking of feedback and getting assignments and things like that, what is it that you're asking of your students, really?
Okay, Aaron, are you familiar with Edsel effect or Edsel phenomena?
I'm not.
Well, this is something that Bill Gates calls one of the biggest flops in history.
All right.
Well, in 1957, Mr. Henry Ford introduced his magnificent car, Edsel. It was so magnificent, he invested at that time over $400 million.
Wow.
But nobody bought it. So in 1960, after less than 3 years, he removed it. He took it off from the market, okay? We don't want to be in that situation. So now that we are introducing our hybrid courses, we want to get as much input from our potential students as possible and use their feedback to improve our programs. So if the viewers could go to the URL, tinyurl.com/HebrewFans, and fill out the questionnaire, we'd really appreciate that. And as a token of our appreciation, we'll give them even a gift, some interactive ebooks of ours.
All right, well, that's a deal that I don't think anybody should or could pass up. Yoel, Orly, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Iran.